This is Get Real with Eddie, your source for everything real estate. From local market updates to national trends. From buying your first home to growing an investment portfolio, we're bringing you the knowledge you need to make smarter real estate decisions.
All right, we're going to have some fun today.
Always fun.
It's always fun.
Real estate is fun.
It really is. It really is. I have the greatest job in the world. I really do. I get to help people change their lives. I get to help my agents change other people's lives. I can't go wrong. It is the greatest thing ever. Today's show, you are going to want to watch before you get into, if you're just starting your search or just starting it off. And Nancy wants to start off with a little kind of game.
I got a game.
Nancy's got a game.
I got a game.
All right.
I love board games and stuff, so this is right up my alley.
All right, fire away.
Okay, this is rapid fire, myth or fact.
Got it. Go ahead.
Okay, ready? We're going to talk about buying homes.
All right.
Eddie, myth or fact, you need 20% down to purchase a home.
Myth.
Okay, he was right on
that.
Okay. Spring is always the best time to buy.
Myth.
Well, he's right about that one. God, Eddie. Rates have to fall before buying.
Myth.
What's up with him? He thinks he knows it all. Zillow tells you what a home is worth.
Myth.
How about that? Zestimate off? Okay. You don't need an agent anymore.
I'm an agent. I'm going to say myth, but on this one, there are some exceptions when you don't need us. There really is.
There really is.
And yeah,
there are.
I'm not going to sit here and go, you got to have a real estate. No. And we'll talk about.
We'll talk a little bit about that.
But it's a myth. The answer is myth. Go ahead.
Right. But there are times when you need me less.
Yes.
Let's put it that way.
Yes.
PMI is always bad.
Myth.
Okay. Waiting always saves money.
Myth. They're all myths. You had no facts.
I know.
Was that the last one?
Yes. And you knew.
All right.
I would expect nothing less.
Let's address the first one you talked about.
All right.
The 20% down.
Okay.
All right. We've talked about this on the radio show when we had the radio. We've talked about this, and it's still out there. I remember going out to see friends in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
And they had this, I was single on my own, went out to go see my friends. They were recently married, and they had this church group they were going to.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I tagged along. It was supposed to be for couples. And here's me, the single guy at the couple's little
retreat.
Church. Wasn't retreat, but church day, whatever.
Okay.
I didn't care. I had a good time. They set up this trust exercise, and they had me do it with my best friend. And basically, they had this giant field.
Do you still trust him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they had this giant field, and we had to drive a Jeep through this obstacle course blindfolded. I had driven a car blindfolded.
Okay. That's kind of cool.
And so you had to listen to your partner. Fast, slow down, go, stop. Did
somebody video this stuff? Because I'm telling you, it could be on a TV. It needs to be a TV show.
It could be. It could have been. But the point was, I remember being and looking at the refrigerator, okay? And I can't remember if I was in real estate or not. I think I was. Because my blood started. I remember, I was in real estate. Because I'm like, you could feel the hairs on my neck standing up. And they had a little thermometer they were coloring in to get to their 20% mark. So they didn't have to have PMI.
Yeah.
It is a myth. You don't need 20% down. Yes, you can buy with 3.5% down FHA. You can buy 3% down conventional. VA has no money down.
Yeah.
USDA loans
has zero money down.
Are zero money down. So, that's just 4 loans. That's not even getting into banks' niche products that are out there.
Oh, yeah.
So, with that being said, you don't need that.
No. And why is it important?
You know what it is? It's not important. it goes back, and we'll talk a little bit more. It goes back to the PMI aspect.
Yes.
The mortgage interest. And we'll come back to that. But parents tell their kids, the problem is saving 20% down in today's market when the average house is 33 to 40% of your income on a payment versus everybody talks about, well, we had interest rates in the 80s at 18%. Yes, you did. You absolutely did.
Your take home, you could own a home and pay for it for 20, maybe 25% of your income.
Yes, you were at I want to say back then it was 21 to 25% of your monthly.
Guess what? I owned in the 80s.
Yes. I mean, seriously.
So yes, was it 18% interest? Yes, but the home didn't cost as much, and it didn't affect your income in the same way as it does.
Even when the interest rate was that high, your total monthly payment was only about 21 to 25% of your monthly income.
Right. It didn't affect it.
You're getting hit 34. I mean, and trying to save up for that. Back then you're saving for an $80,000 house. All right. So 20% down at $16,000. Now, granted, that was a lot of money. I'm not saying that.
No.
I adjusted for inflation. But when you look at today, now you're trying to save a $60,000 payment on a $300,000 house. Big difference in the numbers.
Yeah. Huge difference.
So that's where I think, it kind of elevates, with everything.
I love grandmas. I love grandpas. Lord knows. I'm a grandma. But they, based on their own personal experience, they tell these first-time buyer grandkids, kids, whatever, and give them this information that they need the 20% down, or they, the PMI. It's such a different ballgame, like you're saying. So,
and here's the thing: I don't know if it's grandma and grandpa. In some cases, it's mom and dad.
Yeah.
I mean, because
or your buddy.
You got mom and dads that haven't bought a house in 10 or 15 years. They do not understand what this post-COVID market is. It just does not fathom. They see that market went up 50%, and therefore it's gotta pop. It's gonna come down. It's gonna crash. That's just not feasible. No, the market is underrated by 50%. It finally caught up with itself.
Yes. Because of COVID.
If I would have went back, because of lack of construction. Because we weren't building because of Great Recession.
Right.
We are 4 million units short for properties. I saw over the weekend, I commented on somebody's post because I'm like, stop. Airbnb is going to be the new market crash in real estate. That was the post. Clickbait, fear of God. But that was it. Do you want to know how many Airbnb properties are in the United States?
Probably less than 1%.
I didn't look at a percentage. I looked at units, number of units. How many units do you think are out there?
Couple of million?
1.25 million.
Okay.
So let's say there is a crash.
Yes.
In the Airbnb market.
Yes.
Because supposedly the Airbnbs are not getting filled up, regulations are getting tougher, and all these things. So it's getting harder to make money.
People's expendable income is shrinking.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So people aren't going on vacations. They're not renting homes, blah, blah, blah.
So with that being said, the person was saying that this is going to crash the market. 1.25 million homes is only 25% of the 4 million houses, just a little over 25% that we need. And here's the thing. Not all 1.25 million are going to sell. I know some people that are crushing it with Airbnbs right now. This whole expendable income, like you talked about, from what they're getting on their numbers and what they're making.
And it depends on where they're at. Depends on location, depends on need. If you are running an Airbnb in Aspen, chances are you're not going to be touched. Even if there was a terrible thing that happened in the financial market, the people that go to Aspen and rent these homes at the price points they're renting the homes, they're going to keep renting homes.
Maybe. I don't know. I can tell
Just put it up.
I can tell you what the person I know of that's making a mint in Airbnbs has a property in Marseilles, Illinois. Marseilles, Illinois.
Probably Hunters. I wonder if it's the same one that we rented. Is it like a 12-bedroom, like 12 people, and it's out in the middle of nowhere?
No, it's in the old part of the
okay,
town.
No. We rented one out in Marseilles.
It's got an indoor pool. That's part of the reason what the draw is. It's the indoor pool.
No, this was a hunter's paradise, and it was like for 20 people, whatever. It was really cool. We don't hunt.
Yes.
But it was for my birthday, and we took a family weekend, and everybody came out. We just hung out.
Yes.
Yeah, for 3 days.
So, but going back, that's not going to crush the market, and you're not going to get all 1.25 million. You might get, at the most, you'll get 500,000. Most likely, you're going to get maybe 100 or 200,000 units, and that's going to be spread out to the country. It's not going to crush the market. You know, it's
clickbait.
just, it's clickbait.
You just got to stop and think about what they're trying to say, and it's just not going to happen. And the inventory that we need, it's silly.
So don't forget, Joliet Junior College has the planetarium. Guys, check it out if you're in the local market anywhere around Joliet, Will County. It is an amazing show. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 o'clock. Check out their website. Just search Joliet Planetarium. My child loves going to this. The Sky Dome is amazing. Caitlin that runs the shows has so much information. So if you have someone that is into space, definitely need to check this out. They are free shows, 100%. Just search Joliet Planetarium at JJC online and you will pull it up. All right, let's nail out these myths, because you know what? We're really cranking on time here, man. These shows just fly now.
Yeah.
So, waiting for the perfect time.
What is the perfect time? What would you call the perfect time? Maybe the perfect time is the time that you get to where you want to go.
Well, I think a lot of people, when they say perfect time, rates fall. I'm waiting for the rates to fall. I'm waiting for the prices to drop. I'm waiting till after the election. I never got that one. I'm waiting till next spring. I never got that one either. I'll wait till next spring, because everybody thinks spring market is the only market out there. Yeah. I mean, and it's actually not the best market, especially if you're buying. I think you get a better deal in the winter market.
And fourth quarter.
Yep.
Or first quarter.
Yep.
First quarter, you're going to get a good deal,
I think you can get a good deal in the first quarter, especially because you're looking at fourth quarter numbers. Now, don't get me wrong. Those fourth quarter numbers are usually still higher than the spring market before it. But when you stack the next market on top of it, it's going to be even higher and higher. Prices are going up in our marketplace. Now, maybe you're in a market where prices are going down. That I can understand. You know, then maybe waiting is an option. But overall, generally speaking, I don't know. I'm seeing some of these other markets that are supposedly going down. They're getting close to I think they're getting close to their bottom from what I've talked to some people. They're starting to hit some floors.
Yeah.
Already. And they're starting to tick back up. So it's going to be, I think people are waiting for these rates to fall, and then they're going to jump, because demand hasn't gone down.
No, there's still buyers out there buying.
Yeah. It's not a demand issue. You know, it is definitely a supply issue. So in our market, prices aren't going down. It's going to cost you more, especially if you're buying. You know, median probably most people are looking around 400,000. Let's say it goes up just 5%. We've talked about this before. That's $20,000 more.
Yeah.
That if you wait that extra year, because you're waiting for the rate to come down. Buy the house now, refinance the house when the rate goes down. You're going to look like the genius.
Yeah. And the bottom line of this all is you're moving for a reason. Why are you putting off your life?
Exactly.
Why are you putting off life? You can adjust. You can you can adjust a mortgage rate and buy, you can buy it down, you can refi, you can all those things. If you find the house and it's where you want to be, buy the darn house. Buy it.
Now, buying without an agent.
There are times.
If you're buying from a family member.
I was going to say, I had a daughter.
Yeah.
Who decided she wanted to buy Dad's house. Dad wanted to move on and downsize, blah, blah, blah. So father and daughter negotiated out what they were the terms, did all that stuff over their own kitchen table. I had nothing to do with it. I charged them a teeny amount just to make sure and facilitate the actual purchase.
You did the paperwork. You did the paperwork.
To make sure the lender was doing what they need to do, and we had the attorney and blah, 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 to make sure it went through and the contract was taken care of.
We had one in the office that's similar to that. Now, this wasn't a family purchase. It was a owner versus we'll say renter. There's a lot more complex scenarios to it. It was a little bit of a toxic scenario to it. I don't want to get into the details, but that we turned around and one of our agents facilitated that.
Mm-hmm.
Those transactions, when you know the seller and you know the buyer and you guys already you don't need us. You don't need a realtor. If you're fine with selling, here's the question. Are you trying to get market value? And are you getting market value? Right. That's the two questions that come into play.
And in these family scenarios, or
a lot of times you're not trying to get. A lot of
times you're not. Or let's say it's a renter and the landlord, I've had this scenario, the landlord passed and the family just wanted to get rid of the house.
And sell it directly to the tenant.
And sell it directly to the tenant.
Yeah, and they're willing to sell it under market value,
right?
Because they've been an outstanding tenant, and it's like a thank you.
It was a thank you kind of thing.
Yes.
And again, I was there to merely facilitate. Yeah. I was not there to do,
Well, and that gets into
it was, yeah.
What do we do? Pricing analysis, offer strategy, negotiations. We help coordinate inspections, recommend inspections, appraisal coordination, meet those deadlines, get those contracts, written and get them to the proper people to facilitate those contracts. Addressing what your risks are and looking at what the risk could be in the process. And then finally, what's the problems and how do we solve them? I mean, we don't open doors. So just because you may or may not have the buyer doesn't mean you don't need a realtor. I'm not one that shoves it down your throat that, you got to have me. I've got a scenario right now where I'm talking to somebody that it's basically a divorce situation and one party might buy the other party out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that simple. And I ran some numbers. Here you go. If you need me, let me know.
I've had similar.
Yeah.
I've had similar situations. They just needed it, or they just needed it. But the information for court.
Yes.
And I run the numbers and give my little notes on it. Here you go. That kind of thing. Yeah. I mean, do you need me?
The PMI aspect, I want to hit that really quick because we're running way over on this episode, but that's okay. People love to hear my voice. It's like, fingernails on a chalkboard.
Just about.
The importance of that lending team in your PMI. So first off, having PMI is not necessarily horrible. You're paying a couple $100 a month to be able to have the home on PMI. Let's say it's $200. Okay. Now you paid $2,400 in the year. But remember what we talked about waiting. And that $400,000 house goes up 5%. That's a $20,000 increase. You are still coming out ahead. You're coming out ahead because you took the PMI versus not taking the PMI. If you would have waited till you saved up, you would have had to save up an extra $2,000 anyways, but you missed out on over $17,000 worth of equity.
Yeah.
So you really want to look, and there are other things that can offset. There are down payment assistance programs, grant programs. You can look at closing cost credits. All of these things come from the lending team. So that PMI concern and having a good lender in your corner is just as important as having a good realtor, and in our area, having a good lawyer. We are a lawyer aspect. And I will never tell my clients not to use a lawyer, because guess what? The other side is.
Yes.
So.
Yes. I would highly recommend using a lawyer. I always recommend using a lawyer.
So that kind of wraps it up.
A real estate attorney.
Yeah, the real estate attorney too. Not just an attorney, but a real estate attorney. That is key. That is definitely key. All right, that wraps it up for Get Real with Eddie. Don't forget, check us out online at getrealwitheddie.com, talking about your largest investment, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, your home.
Thank you for listening to Get Real with Eddie. We appreciate you spending part of your day with us. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who could benefit from the conversation. The views and opinions expressed by the host and guests are for informational purposes only and do not constitute legal, financial, tax, or real estate advice. Every situation is unique, so please consult the appropriate licensed professionals regarding your individual circumstances. Eddie Ruettiger, the guests, and affiliated parties assume no responsibility or liability for any decisions or actions taken based on the information shared in this program. Get Real with Eddie is hosted by Eddie Ruettiger, designated managing broker and owner of Exit Real Estate Specialists. Eddie is licensed in the state of Illinois, license number 401014247. Exit Real Estate Specialists is located at 2405 Essington Road, Unit I, Joliet, Illinois, 60435, and is an equal housing opportunity brokerage. Each Exit office is independently owned and operated. Interested in buying, selling, investing, or launching your real estate career? We'd love to hear from you. Visit Get Real with Eddie. Until next time, stay informed, stay inspired, and as always, get real with Eddie.